The FBI is abandoning General Motors. For generations, the black Chevrolet Suburbans have been a rolling symbol of federal authority. Its size, shape, and presence are instantly recognizable, whether it's pulling up to a courthouse, idling near a hotel entrance, or leading a motorcade through city streets. That familiarity, however, is precisely why the FBI's recent decision to move away from armored SUVs into BMW X5 Protection SUVs. And this deserves a closer look. Despite the political noise surrounding the change, the rationale behind it is not ideological. It's practical. Under FBI Kash Patel, the Bureau has reportedly ordered a fleet of armored BMW X5 Protection SUVs to replace Chevrolet and GMC models traditionally used for executive transport. The reason cited by the FBI is straightforward. The BMWs cost significantly less, attract less attention, and are built in the United States, in South Carolina, the largest SUV factory for BMW. Taken together, these factors point to a procurement decision driven by economics and operational efficiency, not symbolism or brand preference. According to the FBI spokesperson Ben Williamson, vehicle fleet decisions are routinely reviewed based on security needs, usage patterns, and budget considerations. And in this case, the BMW X5 Protection was selected after comparing costs and capabilities with other armored options. Williamson stated that the decision was evaluated in part as a way to save taxpayers millions of dollars by choosing a less expensive vehicle while still meeting the Bureau's protection requirements. The cost differences are difficult to ignore. Government spec Chevrolet Suburban Shield vehicles produced by GM Defense have been reportedly to cost anywhere from roughly $600,000 to as much as $3.6 million each. Now, depending on the armored level, the drivetrain configuration, and the mission-specific equipment, it's all going to be a different price. Even conservative estimates put a new armored Suburban at around $480,000. By contrast, the BMW X5 Protection, known as the VR6, is generally priced between $200,000 and $300,000. It's a huge savings, and that places it at less than half the cost of many armored Chevrolet and GMC alternatives. When multiplied across the entire fleet, those numbers matter. Savings of $200,000 per vehicle quickly adds up, especially for an agency under constant pressure to justify spending. And it's your tax dollars. From a taxpayer perspective, the question becomes simple. If the required level of ballistic protection can be achieved for significantly less money, why wouldn't the FBI pursue that option? And it's U.S. jobs. The BMW X5 Protection VR6 is not a standard luxury SUV you would see on the street. It has armored aftermarket protection. It's bolted on, and it's engineered from the factory with integrated ballistic protection designed to meet VR6 standards, which includes resistance to high-powered rifle fire, explosive threats, and more. And these vehicles are already in service with government and diplomatic protection units around the world, including the U.S. State Department, which uses armored BMWs to protect American diplomats in high-risk regions. In other words, this is a proven platform, not an experiment. Cost, however, is only part of the story. The FBI has also suggested that the BMWs are less conspicuous than traditional government vehicles. They certainly don't stand out in the crowd with so many BMWs on the road. That claim may seem counterintuitive until it's considered how deeply ingrained the Suburban has become in public consciousness. A line of black Suburbans with dark glass is universally associated with federal officials. Their very presence can draw attention, whether intentional or not. The BMW X5, even in armored form, blends in more naturally into traffic, particularly in urban and suburban environments where the luxury SUVs are very common. It does not carry the same visual shorthand of authority. From a security standpoint, reducing predictability and visibility can be a big advantage, and a vehicle that does not immediately signal government transport may attract less attention and reduce potential risk in certain situations. Critics have argued that the publicity surrounding the purchase undermines any claim of stealth, and that may be true in the short term, but over time, however, the novelty fades. What remains is a vehicle that looks like countless others on the road, rather than one that announces its purpose at a glance. For protective services, that distinction can matter. Another important point, often lost in the debate, is where these vehicles are built. While BMW is a German brand, all BMW X Series SUVs, including the X5, are manufactured in the company's Spartanburg plant in South Carolina. The facility is BMW's largest production plant worldwide and one of the most significant automotive exporters in the United States by value. They're also the #1 employer for the state of South Carolina. The armored X5s used by the FBI are built by American workers on American soil. That reality complicates claims that the FBI is abandoning American manufacturing. In fact, both the Chevrolet Suburban and the BMW X5 are produced in U.S. factories, assembled by U.S. labor, and supported by domestic supply chains. The distinction lies not in where the vehicles are built, but in how much they cost and how effectively they meet the agency's needs. Government fleets have always reflected pragmatism more than patriotism. Federal agencies use Ford, GM, Stellantis, and foreign-branded vehicles built in the U.S. depending on mission requirements. The military, law enforcement, and diplomatic services regularly reassess equipment based on performance, cost, and evolving threats. The FBI's decision hits squarely within that tradition. The emotional attachment to the Suburban is understandable. Introduced in 1935 as the carryall Suburban, the vehicle has served military, law enforcement, and civilian roles for nearly a century. It is the longest-running nameplate in the American auto history and has become a symbol of durability and authority. But symbols come at a price, and in this case, that price appears to have risen dramatically. Imagining a single Suburban costing as much as $3.6 million is enough to give any budget analyst pause. Even at the lower end of the reported figures, the cost difference between the armored Suburban and the armored BMW X5 is substantial. In an era of heightened scrutiny over federal spending, paying more than double for a vehicle that may also be more visible on the road is difficult to justify. That does not mean the BMW choice is without trade-offs. Long-term maintenance costs, parts availability, and service complexity will ultimately determine whether the savings persists over a full life cycle of the vehicle. German engineering is known for precision, but it can also be expensive to maintain and insure as vehicles age. At the same time, heavily armored Suburbans are highly specialized machines with their own costly upkeep requirements. The true comparison will only emerge over time. Stripped of the rhetoric, this is a procurement story, not a culture war. For taxpayers, the takeaway is straightforward. If a federal agency can meet its security needs while spending significantly less money, that is not a controversy. It is exactly what responsible stewardship is supposed to look like. The badge on the grill may spark debate, but the math behind the decision tells a far more practical story. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and check out our car review channel, Car Smarts. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee, and if you want even more content, check out the links in the description. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.